Hello, I am Raul Sanabria. I'm the president of Baroyeca Gold and Silver, a publicly listed company in the venture exchange under the ticker BGS, and we have some nice gold and silver projects in Colombia.
Raul, nice to meet you in person. We've done an interview on the over the Zoom. Here we are in London. Christmas is just around the corner. It's been a pretty tough year for everybody. And you're here at Mines and Money. How's that going? And you know, what's your meeting schedule like?
Well, for Baroyeca, it's the first time that we attend the Mines and Money. Second day, first day was really well. We had a few very interesting meetings, so we're still interested in the company. As you said, the market is hammering everybody, and probably will be hammered more than many other companies. Our stock is down, but we're currently in the middle of a financing. We want to keep on. It's not just to keep the lights on. We are interested in doing a drill program at the beginning of the year, so we're raising funds for Drill Santa Barbara, our gold project. Yeah. And we keep doing exploration in Atocha, and we're still confident in all the potential of Colombia has to offer.
How much do you need to raise to be able to take on a drill program?
We announced $2 million at 10 cents a share with a 20-cent warrant, full warrant for 2 years. What we're delivering now, if we want to do the full 2 million, because it will include at this price a massive dilution of the company. Remember, we were trading at 50 cents in April, May, and then the stock went down to 25 at PDAC. Now we're down. So with 1 million, we can definitely do beautiful things. There's option payments coming up that we can pay off. We still have this excellent low rate with our drill company. It's a family operated one. We did in Atocha. We shut down Atocha. We put it on hold. We moved to Santa Barbara. So with that, it's a couple of $100,000 that we can do a meaningful 1,500 to 2,000 meter program at Santa Barbara. We can prove all the high grade under the tunnels that we are actually proved with the bulk sampling. Yeah. And the Mariana mine has been refurbished, so we're going to put a few holes underneath of that, and then we'll have probably overhead for over 6 months. So I guess 1 million definitely will do. And then we don't dilute the company that much. It's only 10 million shares that we have to offer to the market.
What's the reception been for Colombia? Because it's it's been in the headlines for not necessarily the right reasons in terms of the resources sector.
No, but that was in the past. Like everybody was afraid with, and I think we have this conversation in May in our latest interview. What happened if Petro was getting in office? Now he's in the office, has been for a few months. And they're definitely more interested in preserving the environment, but it's not affecting the gold, silver, precious base metals. They're focused on the energy transition metals. So if you're in the oil and gas business, then you might be more afraid, if you want to say so, because they are stopping all the exploration licenses. But current exploration licenses, the ones that are awarded, you can explore.
So you can explore within your existing license
within your existing licenses, but there will be no more new licenses. And there's still some uncertainty in the coal business. They're going to shut down. They're going to slow down all the coal operations. But in terms of precious metals, base metals, energy transition metals, they are promoting copper. They're promoting lithium, and gold mining hasn't stopped. So as long as you have a valid mining concession or an exploration project, we have been drilling, exploring, same as before. No, we haven't seen any obstacles, any changes whatsoever.
Isn't it the mines minister is quite a challenging person? Isn't she a philosopher who's kind of an anti-miner? Didn't she come from a background of kind of campaigning against mining?
Well, that is quite a situation. So I don't want to talk politics here, but yeah, we got the director of the mining officer, the mining agency. Sorry, the director of the mining agency and the Ministry of Mines. They come from an environmental background. That's a good thing and a bad thing. So you want to see a perception why an environmentalist wants to go into mining. Well, if this is done, so junior companies or Canadian companies or even local companies focus more on the preservation of the environment, because we have seen that all artisanal mining, illegal mining is a disaster. They don't do any neutralization of the tailings. They throw mercury to the rivers. So it's good that someone has that background and put some control to that. So if that is the reason why, I am happy about it. Yeah. It doesn't matter the personality or the kind of character that the person has. So and then we as Canadian companies, we have to set standards of good practices. So for us, will be no changes. So we adopt our measures, and it's good that they accept it. So that's what I see on that front. Now, these projects are being vetted. like the ones in the Paramos, in the moorlands, in the high elevations. So those are the ones that they want to protect. We know that the Ministry of Mines started that process in Santurban, and Santurban projects up there, I'm not going to name any, but they are going to be more challenging than other ones. But still, there's other jurisdictions, Antioquia, Choco, where we are in Tolima, we are lower elevation, we're not in protected forests, and they are fine. There's another thing that they want to implement. They are extending some forestry reserve areas. So those ones will overlap some titles, some mining concessions, some mining applications, and they will be reduced in size.
Yeah.
We are not into that situation. Our projects are not in any of those potentially areas to be subtracted because of forestry reserves. So it's fine.
So within this context, with some uncertainty about new license areas and the challenges of operating in Colombia, perhaps with kind of forestry and environmental concerns, does that change your strategy? I mean, are you and also the capital markets? You know, for exploration, it's much harder now to raise a big amount of money to go and we're going to explore for the big one. You know, that model is out of favor at the moment. Does that mean that you are saying, we're not going to explore for the big one, we're going to just focus on something that we can turn into a small but profitable operation and kind of get your cash flow base as a small miner? Has there been a philosophical change within the company during this year?
No, not at all. So Atocha continues to be a district scale play. Now, between another company that is neighboring to us and ourselves, we're proving that the Atocha Santa Ana Silver District, primary silver district, is very rich, is completely unexplored. So you're going to see a resource estimate coming from our neighbors really soon. High grade and lots of potential for expansion. So that's years away from something major being developed, but that will be a major project.
And that's a series of kind of parallel veins and fractures and
those are veins, those are structures. They have to be individually mined and processed in a central processing facility. That's how it works for underground high-grade vein mining. On Santa Barbara, we keep moving forward. So we have those veins identified with the bulk sampling. We put it to a stop because there's two contiguous mining concessions. So they have to be permitted independently. So we're getting title. We just got a resolution of accepting the title transfer of the southern part to our company. And based on that, we're filing the mine plan and the environmental license, finally. What are we going to do with that? We are not, and then some investors might ask why you're not producing, we're not generating some cash flow from that bulk sampling. So I'm going to give that answer here to you. The mining agency was seeing this as mining. So bulk sampling was getting a very thin line between what is considered mining or not mining.
Yeah.
So we decided, okay, let's conduct exploration, let's file a mine plan, and the mine plan is upgrading for a 50-ton per day operation. 50 ton per day will operate with 3 mine phases and 3 tunnels. So we will operate 3 bulk samples simultaneously. And then we're going to use all the Santa Barbara tunnel as a haulage tunnel to access the Mariana underground. And then there will be the underground development for a mine. We're going to permit that mine. But that doesn't prevent to conduct drilling.
So it will be a continual operation. So it will be a mine.
Yes. So that will be a mine. Initially, we're going to have an environmental license, our mine plan approved, but that doesn't prevent us to continue aggressively drilling. So that's what we're raising money for. We want to put the first holes on Santa Barbara and prove that what we have is the next comparable to Buritica, which is what we always predicated. The whole point of this company is not mining. Investors are not looking at any dividend from a small operation. So that is only metallurgical testing and then some continuity between drill hole intersects. So we don't fill up with geostatistics, we fill up with some continuum. And mining one vein is not going to damage the deposit, but might defer all the cost of exploration, which is the goal here. So that's what's going to set up this company different than the rest. I wish we had that going in July, but permits are coming when they are coming. You're dealing with Latin American bureaucracy, and then you're dealing with a new government. We don't want to do any misstep or a false step. So they told us, file it, and we file it. And then we continue. That's why we're switching now to some drilling in Santa Barbara. So
talk me through the kind of the milestones, the kind of the value milestones that investors can look at over the next 6 to 9 months. Closing the financing, probably the first one.
Yeah, closing financing, we need to close the financing before the end of this year. And then in January, in the first quarter, we're going to move the rigs to Santa Barbara. We're going to do this maiden drill program, our first year's program, 1,500, 2,000 meters under the Santa Barbara vein, under the Mariana vein.
Okay.
We should have results for PDAC, likely, if we can start the program in January. Then the permits are going to be filed before the end of the year. Once we get it all registered, that is imminent.
This year?
Yeah, we're going to file them. And then approvals will be between 60 and 90 days.
Sorry, the mine permits.
The mine permits for the 50 ton per day mine.
Okay.
So that will be a mine permitted. So by Q2, we should be legally mining and at the same time exploring. So we can then produce gold bars, report the gold bars, sell the gold bars, and generate that more than wanted cash flow that we were announcing. And then that will produce, we have our numbers in-house. We don't have a PEA done so far, but we have our in-house numbers that will cover some of those costs.
So that mine is specifically to fund exploration?
It's exploration itself. Bulk sampling is exploration itself. So doing those blasts, we're advancing the tunnel, we're seeing the grades, we're actually doing metallurgical tests on veins at different levels. But we're pouring gold. That gold is money. Yeah. We're not going to throw it away. Yeah. So that comes into the house bank, and then we reinvest that in exploration. So it's exploration paid for itself. Yeah. So it's zero. It's not low cost exploration. It's zero cost to profitable exploration. In Atocha, we're having the geos back, boots on the ground, generate more targets. We've been very concentrated in that corner of the property, but we need to show that the property has more potential than that. Yeah. Laie proved to be very good. We got that target last year. We drilled it. We got nice results. We continue with the extension to the southwest. We tested the Tavera zone. Tavera zone, we got a very exciting result at surface, but the drills, when we drilled that, we got the veins, we got the textures, but the numbers came low. So we said, okay, we're not going to prospect with a rig. Let's move it to Santa Barbara, as I said. And let's generate more targets. Let's do some trenching, some exposures. Once we have like 2, 3 like Laie, then we bring the rig back, and we got some possibilities on the eastern zone on the property. There's good showings. We're going to start develop them with trenching, as I said, some mapping, and go back to Atocha. In the meantime, we're looking also at the opportunities for expansion. So there's 2 groups that approach the company with large land packages. So it's not that they are abandoning the company; they are actually the country. They are looking at other opportunities. So being offered large packages like key positions in the Middle Cauca, and some more advanced projects from other juniors that left years ago and has been amalgamated. So we're looking at 2 opportunities to increase our land position in Colombia and maybe become the largest project generator in the country. So nice. that will be part of the results after doing this financing. We can actually announce that and then go for a bigger raise based on those acquisitions as well. And
if I want to just kind of keep an eye on Colombia in terms of the resources sector, are there any kind of indicators that that I can keep an eye out for, I can watch for, that the mines department is working with the junior sector? You know, are there any kind of rulings or decrees or license issuances, or perhaps it's the mine permit that is the first indication that things are working smoothly?
Yeah, you see other companies moving forward. I haven't seen any company going backwards. So you get collective mining, keep drilling, keep putting results out, and the target is an open pit scenario. So they are looking at something that will be open pitable. That will be the first time in Colombia. Yeah. Max Resources in Cesar, they are drilling the copper, and then they're having these massive land packages. They're moving forward. Alcorp Gold is our neighbors. They keep drilling. They're going to put a resource estimate out there, moving forward. And then you get Libero in the south with Mocoa. They are promoting, and the government is promoting the copper. So you see that the companies are actually moving forward. No, nobody has like pulled the plug and got on the standby thinking what's going on. Nobody has stopped. Just the opposite. Like we're full steam. So Colombia hasn't changed. I mean, as I said, for the metals, precious metals, base metals, energy transitions metals, it's even better. Coal business, oil and gas, that's a separate story. We're not talking about that, but this is not an area of interest. But so far, so good.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Great. Well, thank you very much for coming in, and good luck with the work program next year. And look forward to the next time we can catch up and hear about the company.
Great. Yeah. Thanks again for having me here, and good to be in London.